Hello viewers, welcome to this session. I am going to talk about God's grandeur composed by a great British poet Gerard Manley Hopkins. Hopkins was a great British poet, Jesus priest, Victorian author. He was born on 28 July 1844 at Stratford, Essex, London, and he died on 8 June 1889 at the age of 44 in Dublin, Ireland, England. Hopkins was a very religious poet. He composed many poems. Before composing his poems, he studied at Oxford University. During that period, he started writing poetry. He wrote a variety of poems which include A Philosopher's Stone and other poems which came out in 1843. Then he wrote Pietas Metrica in 1849, A Spes Legium Poeticum, a gathering of verses in 1892, The Wreck of the Distland and the Loss of the Eurydice, 1878. A Spring came out in 1877. The Nightingale in 1866. God's Grandeur in 1877. Pied Beauty, 1877. Now, let me explain the present poem, God's Grandeur, line by line. God's Grandeur is an Italian sonnet consisting of 14 lines. In this poem, the poet or the speaker deals with the grandeur of God, glory of God, the virtue of God. The poem begins thus: The world is charged with the grandeur of God. It will flame out like shining from shook foil. It gathers to a greatness like the ooze of oil. The poet says that this world is charged with the grandeur of God. This world gets blessings of God in different forms. These blessings of God come out in different forms. It will flame out like shining from shook foil. It gathers to a greatness like the ooze of oil. God's grandeur is visible to human beings, uh, like the uh, like the sunshine or like the light that comes out of the sun, and the oozing of olive seeds. It gathers to a greatness like the ooze of wild crust. When the olive is crushed, it changes into oil, and this is the quality of God. We find the quality of God in it. Why do men then now not rake his rod? The poet asks, why people do not take care of God, do not take care of nature. The poem establishes a relationship between man, nature, and God. Man neglects nature, and that's why nature, which is a storehouse of beauty, which offers beauty from morning to night, gets neglected or ignored by human beings. Not only this, by industrial revolution, humankind has destroyed nature. Nature, which is a stream or fountain of pleasure, is crying by the misdeeds of human kind. They have made this earth unlivable due to their due to exploitation or due to their greed. Nature contains all the things to fulfill the needs of human beings, but she does not have the things to fulfill the greed of mankind. Generations have trod, and all is seared with trade, bleared, smeared with toil. Nature, which is a storehouse of wealth, which is a storehouse of minerals, which is a storehouse of natural oil and gases, remain exploited extremely by humankind. It is seared, bleared, and smeared by humankind, and wears man's smog and shares man's smell. In this world, there is nothing that we have to glorify. We have or we hear only a smog and a smell of man and nothing else. It were now nor care food fill being sowed, and for all this nature is never spent. Though humankind is exploring nature, exploiting nature, but nature is a treasure which will never last. Nature will never be spent, even if human beings exploit it in the full. And for all this, nature is never spent. Their lips, the dearest freshness deep down things. There is a freshness in nature. Still nature has a lot in a store. Freshness deep down things, and the last light of the black west wind of morning at the brown brink erstwhile a springs. The poet says that nature is unique. When it becomes evening with the sunset, it springs brightness with the sunrise of the sun from the east. If there is night, there is day. If there is evening, there is morning. If there is winter, there is a spring to come. So nature will never last. Nature has everlasting treasure of beauty, resources, wealth and things. Because the Holy Ghost over the bent world broods like a warm breast and with bright wings. The poet says that nature is God and God is nature. The poet shares the feelings of Wordsworth. It reads like Wordsworthian poem. To conclude, God Grandeurs is a very beautiful poem. The poem contains many literary devices such as simile, metaphors. It is composed in iambic meters. It is one of the finest poems of Hopkins. Thanks.